Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to talk about junk volume. Is your workout full of junk? Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. I got that damn light shining right on my nose. That's getting a little bit annoying. So, I talk a lot about junk volume on Instagram and get a lot of questions. So I'm going to dive into it a little bit more. It can be a complex topic, it can be a nuanced topic, and sometimes there's multiple factors involved in a set that can determine whether it is junk volume or not. But I want to give you guys some simple information. Is your workout full of junk volume? Okay, first off, we have to look at the factors that drive hypertrophy. And again, they can be complex, but we're going to, look at some basic factors. Number one is strength. Do you have a progressive overload? Does that set or group of sets for that exercise have a progressive overload scheme? And are you attacking that progressive overload scheme? There is something basically we could call the fear of progression, where a weight gets pretty heavy, like on an exercise, and we start to fear the next step up to the point where we stop pushing as hard as we could on progression. So when it comes to strength, whatever exercise you're doing, whatever set you're doing, you have to ask yourself, am I pushing this set does this set or group of sets have a progression scheme, and am I sticking to that progression scheme? If you are not, this volume is becoming junk volume. It is not contributing to hypertrophy. All right. Do you have a reasonable amount of volume in your program? Volume drives hypertrophy, okay? So we're not adding volume for volume's sake. You have to have a reasonable amount of volume. And what is reasonable? Well, basically, if you're in the gym for about 60 to 75 minutes and you're giving it and you're not screwing off, you probably have a reasonable amount of volume. But the thing with volume creates things like mechanical tension, time under tension, which contribute to hypertrophy. But if you have volume and the volume does not have a progression approach, then you have junk volume. If you're doing 5 sets of dumbbell bench and you've been doing the same weight forever and there's no form of progression, or you are not attacking progression, then you have junk volume because you're just stagnating. Junk volume is like a junkyard. Cars are just sitting there broken down. They have no purpose. They're not functional. So if you're doing volume, but the volume doesn't have a progression approach and you're not attacking that progression approach, you have junk volume. All right. So one of the factors that induces hypertrophy is going deeper into sets. Going deeper is usually always a good thing. Now, do you have to do this on all of your sets? No. But the deeper into a set you get, the more muscle fibers you are recruiting. The more muscle fibers you're recruiting, basically that contributes to the hypertrophy process. Think about it. If you can do 10 reps on bench press with 185, the first 2, 3, or 4 feel rather easy, right? But as you pick up fatigue and you go deeper into that set, the body's going to recruit more and more muscle fibers because the demand gets harder and harder and harder. Now, it's not required that you do this on all sets, but there should be a quality amount of sets in a workout that are pushed to this level. For my beginning clients, I tend to have them try to do this with because they're using a relatively lighter weight more often. Early intermediate and intermediate clients less often because it can be punishing, maybe once per exercise, etc. But this is going deeper into a set contributes to the hypertrophy process. I will say this. If you have a workout that doesn't do this at all, ever, if you never do this, if you never push a set for as many quality reps as possible, stopping that set when you feel like you might fail on the next rep or when your form's going to break down, you may have junk volume in your program because you're not maximizing, you're not taking any of the sets in your workout and trying to take them to the limit. Now, another thing that has been scientifically shown to have potential to build muscle, things like pump work. So finishers, after all the hard work is done, you've done your volume work, you've done your heavy compounds, you've done your machines for progression, you've gotten in your volume, gotten in all the other hypertrophy stuff, it's probably a good idea to do some sort of a finisher, just like a pro wrestler. Your body is on the ropes, it's time to finish them off, right? So a finisher could be run the rack, run the stack, it could be some kind of rest pause work, etc. So pump work has been scientifically shown to have the potential to contribute to the hypertrophy process. We're still exploring it scientifically, but really there's no downside to doing a little bit of finisher work at the end. So the thing is, if you're doing these lighty-tighty little exercises, these isolation exercises, and they don't really have any progression approach, right? There's ways to make them more difficult to encourage hypertrophy, like reducing rest in between sets, doing basically rest pause work, or doing like block work, which is rest pause work as well, or doing a lot of volume like run the rack, run the stack, or some sort of finisher work that would contribute to pump work. If you have exercises like isolation exercises that aren't focused on any form of progression and really don't serve any focus, or any function as far as contributing to pump work, then it's probably junk volume. So junk volume is a lot more simple than we think. Basically, does your set have a purpose, or do these groups of sets have a purpose, and is that purpose legit? We also have to consider things like balance and etc., body part balance, etc. But bottom line is, if you just watch this video and anything struck a chord, there's some work that you're doing during your workout that doesn't seem to have a purpose or point or progression, progression approach, or anything that contributes to hypertrophy, then it's probably junk volume. Does a set have a purpose? And is that purpose legit? And what is a legit purpose? That set in some way, shape, or form, using the rules that we know, contributes to hypertrophy. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. And wait, we got a special surprise guest. I just walked in the office this morning. Bubba Sausage.
Bubba.
Have a great day, guys.
Stay sexy.